What do you like to watch? What do you like, they ask. You respond, mostly gay porn and some bi porn. What do you watch, you ask again. Sweet, I like gay porn, DP, and ATM. You ask what's ATM?
What you just heard was just part of a text chain between a 13-year-old and 60-year-old Charles Lawrence. As he scrolled on Grindr for some grind, he found a 13-year-old to entice. But what he didn't know was that the 13-year-old was a sting by former Dateline NBC reporter Chris Hansen. In this video, we're taking you through the interrogation of Charles Lawrence, his disturbing chat, and his absurd excuse. Charles E. Lawrence III was a successful accountant in New York and a commercial real estate broker when he started conversing online with a 13-year-old boy on a social media app called Grindr. He talked about how he could quote-unquote teach him some things, and planned on meeting on October 3rd, 2015. As he stood on the gateway of the 13-year-old boy's house, out came Chris Hansen and a bunch of police officers, because that's how these sting operations work. Lawrence was taken to the interrogation room just to see what kind of excuse he could whip out for being at a 13-year-old boy's doorstep and what he was planning to do.
Chosen the closest for our privacy. Alright, I'm an investigator. My name is Jason. I'm Detective Takis. You can call me Jason. Obviously, know who you are. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to make sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you get that last message?
Yes.
About from Pete Bravo?
From Pete Bravo, yes. Yep. My phone's going to be vibrating every now and then because things that are going on here are kind of constantly evolving. So I want to apologize in advance for any interruptions as a result of this. So I want to explain everything to you. I want to go over your charges and make sure that you understand everything that's happening. I want really you to ask me some questions before I kind of get into what I want to get into to make sure that you are comfortable. Before I can do that, I have to read you your rights so that you're aware of what your rights are and what you can say and what you want to say. We're going to go through it line by line, and once we get done with that, I want to open the floor to you. You can ask me anything that you want to understand things better, and then we'll go from there. Okay, does that sound all right? Well, hold on one second. I want to grab a piece of paper that we need, and we'll get into it. Now, first and foremost, are you aware of what your charges are? Have they been explained to you? No. You are? Okay. Do you have them? No, you're not. Okay. The charges are criminal attempt to commit risk of injury to a minor, criminal attempt to commit sexual assault in the second degree, and enticing a minor. Those are the three charges. Okay. Really, the first one is a misdemeanor. The last one is a misdemeanor. The most important charge, which is a felony in the state of Connecticut, the sexual assault second degree, is a felony. That's the more serious side of the three. Okay. And I am happy to explain to you how we arrived to these charges. Okay. If you want me to do so. Yeah. Want to start doing that. Okay. You obviously arrived at a house today. Yeah. To meet with somebody. Right. I have access and actually have on my phone when it was sent to me all of the communication between you and that individual that you were believing to be meeting. Okay. Really? Right. That you were believing to be based on your communications back and forth. Right. Obviously, you recall having communication with someone. Right. And obviously, you did arrive at this predetermined destination. Right. Okay. But I know I did was under based off of the communication between the two of you, that's how we arrived at where we are with these charges, because of the nature of your conversation, because of the things that were said. Is it your understanding you were going there to see and talk to a 13-year-old? No.
Straight off the bat, he denies meeting a 13-year-old, even after he's caught chatting with one. You and I both know this is an open and shut case, but for now, let's give him the chance to defend himself.
You just said that you would never go to meet someone that age. Yeah. I want to kind of leave it to you if that's the case, and just kind of walk me through how you arrived there and what your intentions were.
I thought he was 18.
Okay. Okay, so you thought you were being an 18-year-old?
Yeah, because I was downstairs on my couch. I was at my eye doctor yesterday. I work in text. So my eye got scratched. So I can't wear my contacts, so I'm wearing these glasses. And I was downstairs having a cup of coffee, and my glasses were upstairs. And I'm looking. I thought he said 18. I swear to God, I would never, ever in my entire life meet a 13-year-old. I can say to my own self, it's disgusting. Okay, that's not, So consenting adults, different story.
I absolutely agree with you.
Consenting adult, and
at 18 years old, obviously that's a consenting adult and something that you would feel comfortable with. Is that fair to say?
What?
Is it fair to say?
Oh yeah, 18 or above.
18 or above.
Right.
That's something that's consenting adult, and they're all able to make that decision. Right. You would feel comfortable with that, and obviously a scenario like that, you would have no concern about law enforcement or anything like that being involved in such a scenario, right?
Well, they're capable of making their own decisions.
Right, but so there's no...
Right, I would never...
In a situation like that, there's no law enforcement.
I would never do anything to the crime. Okay.
He thought he was meeting an 18-year-old, even though the text clearly shows 13. Ironically, the 13-year-old even says, and I'm quoting, "Swear you won't report me?" A message that his scratchy eyeball couldn't see. This has to be one of the most hilarious excuses ever. That, too, from a 59-year-old accountant and real estate broker.
How did you get in touch with this particular person today? What did you...
I think he got in touch with me.
Okay, well, how did you guys connect?
Grindr.
Grindr, okay. Is that something that you've used before?
Yeah.
It is, okay. And, when did you start using it? Have you had... Has it been something that's worked for you in the sense where
6 months ago?
Help you meet people that you want to meet? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm single.
Okay. So, have you met other people utilizing this app that you've ultimately met with and either had conversations with or relations with?
A lot of people.
Okay. Okay.
Socially and
okay. The one issue that we're kind of running into right now. Again, I told you that I have access to the communication, right? And you made it very clear about your feeling as far as being with someone who's, I guess, underage or a minor. What would you consider to be underage or a minor as far as,
anybody under 18?
Anyone under 18.
Yeah, exactly.
The issue that I'm having with that, and look, one of the things I really don't want to do, I don't want to get into this situation where we're doing like a tit for tat, where we're going like line by line through this whole thing. I really just want to talk to you. I don't want my goal is not to embarrass you or belittle you or do the typical cop thing that you see on TV where they're like, look, it's right here. I don't want to get involved in that. The situation is what it is. We have arrived here and we need to deal with it now. Okay. But to maybe get past this first hurdle, to maybe allow that to happen more, I want to read something to you. And maybe you can explain it to me.
Sure.
So how do you like Grindr? You ask.
Right.
And the person answers. They mentioned that they've been kicked off a few times, and you ask why.
Right.
Why have you been kicked off? They respond, simply age. Then you write back, how old are you? They respond back, swear you won't report me. You respond, of course not.
I mean, people are going to report other people on that.
Right, no, I get what you're saying, right. So he says, you swear you won't report me. And you say, of course not.
Right.
I'm just talking, I wouldn't do that, I don't need to do that. Right. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's, of course not, that's kind of what happened. He writes back, 13. And I can show you if you want to see. It says 13.
I can't read that.
Okay.
But I thought it said 18.
It says 13.
Okay.
And that's fine. That's fine. You're almost a neighbor, laugh out loud. So what are you looking for here? Blah, blah, blah. And then you go into some other things, which, again, we can kind of go back to that. The one issue I'm having with your answer regarding, the 18,
right?
Because we just went over it. If you thought they were 18, you would have no concerns.
No, because I wouldn't. Some people could say they're 18 and they're not.
Right. So, if you thought they were 18, and that's obviously a situation that you feel comfortable with, if you thought that read 18,
I've gone as far as to ask them to their private life.
there would be no reason for you to ask this then. Are you a cop or involved in law enforcement. They respond back, laugh out loud, really? And you write back, gotta be careful.
Right.
They write back, yeah, man, I get it. So the problem you're going to have with your explanation is if you thought legitimately that the person was 18 and you thought that you read the number 18, at that point, from what you just said in your mind, you're really alleviated of any concerns about dealing with a minor or anything like that.
That's true. Because, again, people could say they're 18 and they're not.
But you didn't say that. You just asked, after finding out, after the age was written, which was 13, you're claiming 18.
Right.
After that number was written, you move forward with some other back and forth, which I can read. I'm looking to get away from that.
Okay.
So then you clearly are right.
But I do that
with law enforcement or a cop.
I do that with everybody because
I don't understand why
and be in trouble with anybody.
I don't understand why you would write that or be concerned about that if in fact you thought you read the number 18. Would be really that from what we just talked about. That should be still, that should be. No, it's not. You clearly said that it was not. That 18 and above, they're a consenting adult, and there's no issues there. You clearly, you just said
As long as they're not misrepresenting themselves.
misrepresent, right? But you didn't. That's not what you wrote. That's not what you said. That was not part of any of your back and forth. Your next step after a few back and forths is, are you law enforcement or are you a cop?
When I walked in, I immediately was going to say, we got 18.
At a point like this, where you're caught on your lie, do you A, keep lying and waste more time, B, tell the truth and get it over with, C, come up with an even more bizarre excuse, or D, invoke your right to remain silent? He's not smart enough to go for option D, too shameless for option B, so he chooses option A.
And he asked me to bring some porn and stuff like that. So I said, when I said I was having a good porn, I was out of it. There was no way.
Okay.
I was going to.
But when you get
involved in that situation.
In your messages, you said you were going to bring.
I did. It was in the car.
Right. What kind of, what is in the car? What did you bring?
It was a DVD.
And what's on the DVD?
Porn.
What's that?
Just regular gay porn.
Regular gay porn?
Yeah.
Is it underage gay porn or is it
No.
adult? It's adult gay porn? And I want
Amateur. I think it was amateur stuff.
It's amateur stuff. But what the people depicted on there, are they adults or are they underage?
Not underage.
They're not underage. Okay.
I take it out.
Okay. The problem that you're going to have, Charles, I'm not afraid to tell you, okay? One man to another, one person to another, one adult to another, is when you read these messages and you go through them line by line very carefully and you read them, your explanation does not match. Because if you truly believed that you were going to meet with an 18-year-old person, like you just said,
Right.
there would be no second thoughts, concerns about whether or not the person that you're dealing with is law enforcement or involved with law enforcement. But you clearly not only ask the question, but then you kind of double tap it because you say, you got to be careful.
Yeah, because
you got to be careful.
I don't want to do anything wrong.
Well, that's kind of why we're here, Charles.
I don't want to do anything wrong.
What people want to do sometimes, maybe what they intend. I don't want to get crazy with that, but at the end of the day, you did do something wrong today, and we have to deal with that. We have to deal with that somehow, some way. We have to deal with that. You're going to have to explain it better, and/or you're going to have to come to grips with the fact that you're here. This is why you're here, and we got to deal with it now. You got to deal with it now. Because if you choose not to, you're not really, a writer writes the story, an artist paints the picture. In this scenario, I want you to tell the story. I want you to write it. But if you don't, and you stick with what you're telling me, you're kind of forcing us as law enforcement, as the investigators, to dive into this now, to dive into your phone, to dive into your car, to dissect these messages. And then once you do that now you're kind of forcing us to do our jobs and forcing us to, present these facts, okay, that maybe don't put the proper spin on the story that it needs to have, okay? Because the way we look at a lot of these cases, people will get involved in circumstances like you're in now. A lot of these people, they just need help. They have a problem. It's almost like an addiction in many ways. They're attracted to something they know is not right. They know it's not healthy. They know it's not legal. But they can't help themselves.
I'm telling you right now, gentlemen, next week, you're gentlemen to me, I'm gentlemen to you. I have never been with anyone that's underage, anyone under the age of 18.
Would this have been the first? Would this have been the first time?
No, because he said he was 18. That's what I read.
Okay. Well, it says.
I know it says 15. It says, Mike, like that. There's no glasses on. 13, I would have shut him right down. I would have locked him right then and there.
Okay. But then why ask if he's involved in law enforcement?
I do that all the time because I get afraid with 18-year-old kids that represent themselves at 18. This happened to me before. And they're not 18.
Yeah, but you don't write that. You don't write, hey, look, are you sure that's your age? You don't even question it. The age is written. It's not even like, are you sure? Or I've been down this road before. Or
no, I've never been down this road.
No. Whatever you want to write. I've had people lie to me before. Are you sure? How do I know it? Yeah. There's nothing like that. The age is thrown out there, and then look, and I'll read it. I mean, this is what's going to happen at the end of the day anyway. I mean, this is how it's going to be.
This is exactly how it was perceived. Bad eyesight is the excuse for his actions. Another interesting part of the sting operation is that he was greeted not just by the police, but also by the host, Chris Hansen, the host of the show that does these sex sting operations. So now we're going to take you through some more parts of his text, just so he's completely exposed.
Received, and Chris Hansen is actually, I know him, he's a friend of mine. I knew him on the train for years. And that's more embarrassing than anything. But,
so how do you like grind? It's cool, but I've been kicked off a few times. Why? They write back age. You respond back with, how old are you? Swear you won't report me. Of course not, you write. They write just 13. You write back, you're almost a neighbor. Laugh out loud. So what are you looking for here, you ask? Really just chatting or whatever. I like whatever. Laugh out loud with one of those. They respond back with, yeah. And you respond back with, yeah. What have you done so far? I've had sex with my ex-girlfriend. Nothing with a guy. You write back, gotcha, but you like guys better now. Never tried it, but being with my girlfriend was really awkward. You write back, I get it. You write back, maybe you need a good teacher. Yeah, you know one, they respond. You're talking to them, laugh out loud, you write. Laugh out loud, really? You write back simply, yes. So are you just bi or gay? School is in session, you write. More gay, but also somewhat bi. Do you watch porn, you ask? Yeah. You ask, what do you like to watch? What do you like, they ask. You respond, mostly gay porn and some bi porn. What do you watch, you ask again. Sweet. I like gay porn, DP, and ATM. You ask what's ATM. You write back, DP is so hot. Ask them out. They're explaining what ATM means. Right. You write back, you're getting me hard, laugh out loud. Again, you ask what is ATM. And then it's back, yes, DP is hot, they're right back. And then you respond, so do you think you're more of a on top? I don't know, I'm willing to learn anyway. Can you get away? So do you think you're more of on top of a So I mean, we're going down this road, and then we get to nothing. Right. We get to the law enforcement. Are you a cop or involved in law enforcement? If you think you're talking to an 18-year-old person, Why are you asking that? Why are you? Why? Why would you ask that? What would you care?
I watch TV.
Yeah, but what's to be concerned about? What is the issue if it's an 18-year-old person? Like you said, it's a consenting adult. Why would you even be concerned about that?
Because I'm super careful. That's all. And I would never have. I could show you that I was at my ophthalmologist yesterday, an eye doctor that I was scratching my head as to why I'm wearing these glasses and why I didn't see that correctly. But you can. I mean, you would never find anything like that in a conversation with a 13-year-old on my phone. Ever.
You understand that by reading this, that's not how this reads. It's clearly in there. It's clearly in there. 13. You're not. You don't even.
I didn't respond to it because I didn't read it.
As soon as it's written 13, you just continue on with wants and need and talk about what you want to do and what he likes and what you like. You go right. You go.
I thought I go to 18. I just have to keep talking. I mean, 13, I'd be gone.
And then as you get close to the part where we're going to start meeting and it's starting to get maybe a little bit more real, we get to, are you law enforcement? Are you a cop? And
I've seen Chris show before, so
I understand you've seen Chris show before. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the way this is played out, and you're here and you're being charged with these things, and you arrived at this person's house, and you never at any point in time questioned the age or the number after it was sent to you.
That's why
and you just
as soon as I saw him, I was leaving. He did not look even 18.
You didn't leave after meeting. You didn't leave immediately upon laying eyes on him. That's not how it happened.
He had me in the water.
After some
he said, you bring me the porn. I said, yes, it's at my car. I was going to get it in my car and go.
What you need to understand is I maybe you don't realize it, but I know more than you think I know. I was at the house. I was there. I got in the car with you.
Right.
I watched everything as it unfolded. I watched you pull up to the house. Okay. I watched you get out of the car. I watched you walk into the house. I watched you make conversation with this boy who clearly does not look like he's 18 years old. As you just said, that he does not look like he's 18 years old.
I was not going to do it.
And I watched you make conversation with him. And I watched you talk to him. And what you're not, I don't want to call you a liar because I don't want to get into that. But
anything sexual or anything like that.
I don't want to get into like this thing where you did an about face upon seeing Chris Hansen, not before. You didn't do an about face until you saw him.
When he asked me about the porn,
you guys were going to
as soon as he asked me about the porn,
talk and what have you.
That's not true. That's not true. As soon as he asked me about the porn, I said I was going to go get it. That's when Chris walked into the room, and I was going to turn myself around and walk right out.
You saw Chris turn around and you walked out.
Well, after I had the water, but I was going to. He gave me the water. He asked me about the porn, and I said, okay, I'm going to go out. So I left in the car, I'm going to go get it. And that's when Chris, as I was turning, that's when Chris walked into the room.
If this is all just a big mistake, a big misunderstanding, why go out the door? Why not? You know Chris, why not address it? Why not say, hey, wait a minute, whoa, time out. I thought it was meeting 18-year-olds.
There's no win. When you meet Chris Hansen in the kitchen, there's no win in this. And I have a reputation to uphold. You know, I'm a good guy. I support the police union. I know a lot of cops, a lot of fire guys, and this is not. I'm not who you think you're looking at. That's not.
Here's the thing. I don't want there to be any misconceptions. Okay, people make mistakes every day on many levels.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That was a mistake. I think that's what you made today. But here's the problem: moving forward. Okay, moving forward from today. Okay, you need to deal with this, and the way that you're choosing to deal with it is not meeting it head on. It's not taking care of the problem. It's not addressing the problem. It's throwing a blanket over the problem.
If I need to do something about it, I will.
And that's not helping you.
Well, then I will.
I
will get therapy if
you need to do something
right.
about it. You don't think it's.
I don't know. I have to be evaluated.
You don't think it's fair to say that maybe you do have a problem that should be addressed? I don't know. Just for your own well-being and obviously the well-being of others.
I'll get evaluated. I'm a professional at this.
I mean, because at the end of the day,
I'm a good guy. I'm a stand-up
no,
guy.
no one's saying you're not a good guy. You
And I haven't done-
came in here with the
and I
cuffs off because you're doing a good
And I
guy.
haven't done anything wrong. I have not followed the law at any time in my life, especially with regard to this. It wouldn't. It's against my beliefs. It's against a whole lot of reasons.
Okay.
That's really that's my life.
When you were slid over into the seat by the officers that took you into custody,
Yeah.
and then I sat down next to you,
Right.
before I could introduce myself, before I could say a word, do you remember what you said to me?
Is this gonna be on TV, something like that?
That wasn't the first thing. I want you to think about sitting in the car, sliding over. What was the first thing that you remember saying to me?
The officer? It was a blow.
I would imagine it would be. You looked right at me, and you said, I was going to tell, the reason I came, I was going to tell this boy he shouldn't be doing this. I came here.
Yeah, as soon as I saw him, yeah.
No, you said, I came here to tell this boy that he shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
So if you thought you were meeting an 18-year-old boy
Even at 18.
for a consensual encounter, which you feel is totally okay, which in the grand scheme of things, based on legality, it is. But if that's the case, then what are you coming there for to tell a boy after having a conversation that you had that he shouldn't be doing this? If that's your goal, it doesn't make any sense. If you thought you were meeting an 18-year-old boy for a consensual encounter because you misread the number,
Right.
it doesn't make sense with your point of
He still shouldn't
I
be.
came here to tell him
He
that
still
he
shouldn't be
shouldn't be doing this.
He still should be doing it. He used to be representing his parents and was away for the weekend, and he was having people over with him.
Do you see how this is playing out? Do you see how this is the direction this is going? Do you see? I mean, you've been charged. You're here. The things that you've said, and some of the sense that it's making and not making. I mean, can you see that through the blur of all this? Can you see it?
I could see what, the circumstance, but in terms of execution, no. Never had the will.
After all this, Charles Lawrence was found guilty of all 3 charges and sentenced to 2 years in prison. It's a good thing that he wasn't actually talking to a 13-year-old, otherwise the sentence would have been harsher, and it would have been harder to uncover Charles Lawrence, the successful New York accountant and commercial real estate broker, as a pedophile.